I tried so hard to only sit in the light and just to be like, this is about the light, this is about the love. And yes, it is. But there is so much shadow work that I've gone through that made things speed forward so much more than if I was sitting in the light. To embrace that darker side, the shadow side of pausing and being in that darkness. When you step into the light, it is so much more empowering, so much more transformative. It's amazing.
I was a state champion pole dancer back in the day, way back. And I can't dance with other people. I can't dance with a man. I don't know how to.
That is where youth is not dried up, because they continue to play, they continue to have fun, they continue to be cheeky, they continue to push boundaries, they continue to explore. Why do we need to stop that just because we begin to age or enter a different stage in our life? Because our body stops having the ability to have children doesn't mean that we have to stop the ability of having fun and still being playful.
Welcome to the Peri Moon podcast. I am Nelle, and today this is just such an honor for me, and it's kind of like a pulling back of the curtains into my beautiful private life. I am joined by my dear, one of my best, most cherished friends ever, Sarah. We've been friends for like 20-something years, and
Hello.
hello. Just like,
you're gonna make me cry.
I know. I'm trying to sum it up really, really eloquently, and I'm there's so much. You've seen me seen me at every like rock bottomest part of, and you've seen me soar and all of the bits in between. And
absolutely. And so have you. You've seen me that way too. And I think that's what's built our beautiful sisterhood, friendship, soul connection, is the rawness that we have with each other and the safety that we have with each other. And it's so, I cherish it so much also. Like, you are just such a gift in my world, and I just appreciate you so much. So thank you for having me on. I'm so I'm excited. I get to see your beautiful face, which is amazing. And to have a chat and share that with people is really special. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, darling. I'm just a little misty-eyed at the moment. I think there's something about like long-term friendships. Like, I feel like they really come into their own in middle age. Like, it's just like, now it's when things, we've had the little, my boyfriend broke up with me, I drank too much on the weekend.
I'm feeling a little woozy.
Things like that in the 20s and 30s that we're like just sort of drifting through. And then now it's like real stuff is happening.
Oh, it's real. Yeah. And I think too, all of those, they were important parts, and they were like that at that time. That was real drama. That was real stuff. That was real life. But to be able to collect all of those lessons and knowing that we've moved through those parts, and at the time it was like, I don't think I'm ever going to get through this. This is like, it's too much pain. There's too much hurt. There's so, like, how am I going to do this to get to this stage of our life and look back and go, okay, I had to go through all of that to get to where I am now, and I have the knowledge to be able to share with others, is such a beautiful thing to have. Like, it's the tools, I guess. Like, we had to go through all of those things in our 20s, 30s, now 40s. To be able to grow, or to continue to grow if we, so choose to do so. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I love. I love about you is, it's not really, as we're very similar. Yeah, it's not really a choice. The growth bit, is it?
No,
it's like, no, that's what we're here for. Our souls signed up for this. It's like, give me the growth, show me the edges.
Yeah, and the death, like a lot of death. I definitely think throughout my discoveries of, my soul, my spirit, my contract, I tried so hard to only sit in the light and just to be like, this is about the light, this is about the love. And, yes, it is. But there is so much shadow work that I've gone through in my later years that have been so confronting and like just made things speed forwards like so much more than if I was sitting in the light. Like to embrace that darker side, to embrace that the shadow side of pausing as well, like stopping and pausing and being in that darkness. When you step into the light, it is so much more empowering. It is so much more transformative. It's amazing. Yeah. And not scary. Like I was so scared to go to that side for so long. Like, oh, well, I can't, you know. And I think too, obviously, growing up in a religious household, it was like, you know, it's darkness, it's evil, it's, you know, all of those stigmas that come with it. And really, what I've discovered with that for myself is it was taking away my power. To have that fear was taking away my power. Yeah.
And you work a lot with Tantra, and I think this
Yeah.
is probably one of the biggest, you know, Tantra is not exclusively about sex, you know, there's a whole energetic philosophy that
Yeah,
goes with that.
absolutely.
And the feminine is the darkness, you know,
Oh, yeah.
and I think for so long, you know, whether it's society that's been telling us that or whether we just fear our own power, to be able to sit in the depths of things and really excavate those darker textures. It is scary to do it at first. And now I'm at a
Yeah.
point where I'm like, it would be scary for me not to, like, to push them away
Yes.
now. It's scary. I'm like, oh no, I'm, you know, even the small little things coming up, I need to see what's going on under that, because otherwise my light is going to be what it costs me in the end.
It does cost you your life. Yeah, definitely. And almost doing yourself a harm by not exploring that. If something niggling, you know, something's niggling at me and I'm like, why can't I ignore this? Well, I clearly need to visit it. And by visiting that, sometimes it is in, well, most of the time, it's solitude. I need to go and be with just myself and to let go of everything else. I was just saying before, you know, all those external influences need to disappear for me to really be able to get a grasp on what's happening and what is this message that I need to listen to, and how is it going to help me grow, and how am I going to be able to share that with others, because I can't just keep that to myself. I love that a part of my gift is to be able to give to others and serve others. You know, it was quite a hindrance for so many years for me to be like, why am I always giving and not receiving? And I think part of it was, again, fear, like to receive. To receive is scary because for me, it was connected to owing something. Like then I was owing to others. You know, if I receive something, it means I have to give back, you know, rather than just, okay, I'll take that gift. Thank you. And as a natural giver, yeah, it's been looking into all those shadows, working through myself, that has been a bit of a harm I've done to myself by not going deeper and then not receiving, not asking as well. I think that's another thing that I've learned, to ask for things that I want rather than expecting that others would know. I'm going off on a tangent now.
No,
That's just
I
another
love it.
subject.
And no, I adore this because I feel,
Yeah.
I think women in general, like, and that's in a Mars energy, you know, in astrology.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
very Mars. It's like owning your desire and being able to say, you know, this is what I want, and I want it enough to stand up for it and to advocate for it and to ask for it.
And take
And
action as well, I think.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I think it's really common for women to be like, oh, if I ask for it, I'm too much. Or if I
Yes.
ask, I'm burdening someone, or
Burdening, yeah.
and
Needy, you know, all those,
it's
wonderful words.
we apply to ourselves just to, like, you know, diminish.
Just crush us a little more, you know, squash us down. Yeah.
No, I think it's such a good point, because there is something, so it is, and I think it comes with midlife. It's like, you know, once we start to give up all of the other roles, like I am the giver and I am the nurturer and it's like, you know what? I have this little thing that I want to, and that's absolutely okay.
Yeah.
And I have spent my lifetime giving. And I think for me, you know, I was in a relationship, you know, my marriage was very much, I built it on the philosophy of love is all you need.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And it
Oh
was all
yeah.
about being in the light and being
That's
like,
the
I
light.
can
Yeah.
forgive, I can
Yeah,
forgive, I can
that's okay.
forgive.
Oh, sugar, sorry, I just flew you down. Got too excited. Yeah.
Yeah, I can give, I can forgive, I can do all the
Yeah.
things, and it's just love will keep going, love will sustain it all, and it's like it was so like toxic spiritual, it was like that toxic positivity, like I can get through this, and the gift for me in the end of that was being like, I've given all I have, like there's nothing left in the tank, I can't give any more. And now I'm in a place where it's like, oh, what would it be like to receive? And
and what is it like?
so good.
I can see it on your face. I can see it in your aura. Yeah, it is a beautiful thing to have and to share and to have that. I think it's a beautiful thing too when you have that balance with somebody, that there is that give and take and flow. It's the flow. Oh, I love flow. I struggle with stagnation and I get bored very easy. And I can get into my head very easy if I'm stagnant. So to have that beautiful flow is so magic. Can I ask, how do you find your flow, I guess? Like, what is something you could share with me to be able to get that flow?
Dance is, my relationship with dance is like, it's always
Sarah
been.
Pips. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you. No, it's always been. And I don't like, there's times when I still really resist flow, but it's probably the place where I can not effortlessly. Sometimes it's like, no, I need to dance. Come on, just get up and do it. I think it can shake me in any place. Like writing, I find sometimes writing, I need to have something meaty to, like, I find it really hard to write about small stuff or just like light stuff. Whereas with dance, it can be like, I can be dancing to Bjork or, like there's so many, I can dance to anything and I can feel whatever I need to be like whatever needs to be felt.
Like all the emotions, like happy, sad, grief, whatever I love that as well. And I think that is where we did connect in the first place. So is through dance. And absolutely, that is so true. And I think I could do all other forms of exercise. Swimming probably is another close one for me, like to be in the water and to have that movement of swimming and that buoyancy and, probably almost like being back in the womb is really beautiful for me to have the flow. But dance, it's a magical thing, isn't it?
It really is. And I think as women, I don't know, I have so many dancers around me, like so many women that come into my world are ex-dancers of, like I did ballet when I was a little girl, or I did this, or I raved in London in the, in the 90s or something like that.
The glow sticks.
It's like so many women that come into my life have had a relationship with dance. I don't think they treat it as reverently as it could be. It could be such, I call it often a moving prayer for me. Like there's something so powerful about experiencing the music and the lyrics and the sound moving through your body and then like translating that through movement. I think it just lends itself to ultimate flow.
Shifting that energy too, like just shifting it through your body, shifting it around, shifting it into your space. And if you have, someone with you, shifting and sharing it with them, sharing that beautiful.
You know what, you are going to be so surprised by this. For background, I was a state champion pole dancer back in the day, way back. And I can't dance with other people. I can't dance with a man. I don't know how to. I'm like, the pole I just knew where it was all the time. It was the ultimate masculine. I just knew. I knew
was it. Is it a safe space, do you think? Because it wasn't going to move?
I don't know. I think maybe there's just a whole other element of getting to know someone
Mm.
like
It's intimate.
because yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very intimate. Like, and I find it more intimate than sex in a way. It's
Yeah.
like,
I get
yeah.
that. I get that. I see that. And I think, yeah, I can't just dance with anybody. That definitely is a really sacred and special thing for me also. But to have that for me it has been like, and as there's probably only been like 3 times where I've made that gorgeous connection with somebody to be able to really, it hasn't been like an awkward dance. Like we have
Mhm.
actually connected and moved our bodies together without even thinking about it. It's just happened because the spirit has flown together and just morphed together and just been delicious. So, wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that about you. So thank you for sharing that.
That's okay.
I'm going to delve into that later.
Yeah, I'll be getting voice memo
You
next
will.
couple of weeks.
Like, I've had
Well,
to think about this.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Virgo coming through.
I think like from the perspective of Tantra, it's really interesting as well. Just like that capacity for us to have that energy exchange. Like
Mhm.
I think, Tantra is such a beautiful orientation to
It
life
is.
as far as
Well, yeah,
relationships.
a lot about breath as well.
Mm,
Again, being in the moment, stopping, pausing, letting everything else go, let it all sort of melt away and just be one, whether it's with yourself or with someone else. Um, yeah, but it's breath, and breath is life, isn't it? Breath
it
is
is. That's
life force again, and that's
right.
why
Yeah.
there's a lot of there's a lot of people that will throw the word around tantric, and use it only for pleasure and only for sex, which, is a beautiful thing. Go for it, do your thing. But to use it in a way as life force, like to feed yourself life and to grow from it is a really magic thing. And it does start with breath. Like a lot of it is breath, a lot of it is pausing, a lot of it is visualization, eye gazing, which is another magical thing to do. Just sit and eye gaze. That is so, for me, that took a very long time. For me, that was my um, weak point where I
Mm,
really had to grow with that and let go and be vulnerable. Like that was my vulnerability, definitely was eye gazing, because for me, to stare into a soul like that and have someone else stare into my soul was terrifying. What are they going to see? What am I going to see? But what are they going to see in me that could be rejected? I guess it comes back to rejection. And to get to this maturity level to go, "Oh, I am amazing. So
yeah.
you're lucky to look into my soul."
I
Yeah.
Yeah, the eye gazing, and it does stimulate oxytocin. So it is interesting that it's
Mm-hmm.
like the bonding is
Mm.
perhaps what we're fearing by now.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like,
definitely. Especially coming from, which I, don't enjoy the word trauma, but coming from trauma, um, and toxic relationships and toxic environments, yeah, to to expose that part of myself, I think was the where the terrifying part comes in and the vulnerability comes in, because and the rejection comes in, because that's all I knew is those patterns of, the past of going, if I do this and I'm rejected, then there's something wrong with me. It's not, it wasn't even a matter of looking at it that it just wasn't the right fit, or the time is done. Whatever we were supposed to come together for is done. The contract is done. The soul is
mm,
done. And to move on rather than seeing it as a rejection. I can look at those moments now and even, on a daily basis, look at them and go, well, we're just not aligned, whether it's a friend, whether it's a colleague, whether it's the lady at the supermarket that's in a mood, like, whatever it is, school drop off. There's so many things where I'm like, I don't need to, I don't need to take that on board. That's just something else is going on with that person, obviously. Or we're just not aligned. And for whatever our meeting was, what can I take from it in a positive sense that can look at it and go, how can I grow from this? Like, what do I need from this to be able to grow and to share again? You know, it comes back to, sounds a little bit egotistical and greedy actually, that I'm taking all these taking all these moments and going, how can I spin this around and let it benefit me? But yeah,
It's alchemy. It's
it
alchemy.
is. It
Yeah.
is.
And I
Yeah.
think it's so important to be able to do that, and to, you know, to live with an open heart. You have to be able to do
Yeah.
that, or you're going to, you know, even if it's like, I am aligned with this person, and school drop off, it starts to, you know, it's like, oh, we've got all these other stresses, and maybe, you know, there's something that's a bit challenging. It's like, it's just not, you know, it's not taking it
Yeah.
personally. In my 20s,
No.
I took everything
Oh,
so personally,
yeah.
like, and I think that's egotistical, is like,
Yes.
it's all about,
It's all about
obviously,
me.
obviously she has a problem with me, so I'm some unicorn, you know, I'm some
Yeah.
special snowflake
Yeah.
that,
I mean, you are, but yeah.
but yeah, and I think, you know, you just get to, I think on a spiritual journey as well, you kind of get to a point where you distill everything just down to energetics, and it's like, that frequency isn't for me now.
Yep.
It may not be forever, but right now this frequency
Yeah.
isn't serving me. And
No.
yeah, we're all
And
just energy. Yeah.
yeah, really, we are. Yeah, absolutely. I think I was saying, well, we were talking about before, with opening the heart. I started discussing that with you, just in terms of us, you know, reconnecting and chatting about Tantra and relationships and all that sort of stuff, all that juicy stuff. And I didn't realize until we were chatting about it that through everything that's gone on with me in the last 10 years, which that's just another podcast, folks, that how much my heart had calcified. And that for me, and look, you know, it had served me because I did need to protect myself through those times. But it wasn't until we've started chatting deeply on this sort of topic that it made me realize, oh my gosh, I wasn't connecting sacredly with my sacred space. And then my heart, like, for it to all be, you know, it wasn't aligning in my body. And in turn, that's what I was saying, that my creativity had gone, my dance, my love of dance and movement had gone. I hadn't been moving my hips, and that was reflecting in so many different areas of my life, including my confidence, you know, wanting to sit in my feminine and be beautiful and soft and, you know, honey like. All of those elements were frozen. And I didn't realize. I thought I was. I thought I was like, oh no, I'm, you know, I'm in my now, and, you know, my sexuality, and I'm loving, you know, who I am. I wasn't. I was I don't know, not that I was lying to myself, but yeah, I had calcified my heart to a certain degree, which is not me. I have the biggest heart and, you know, so much to share. And so I want to say thank you to you for helping me realize that and opening it up and softening again and dissolving all the, yeah, the ice, I guess, you know, melting that away, melting the ice away around my heart again. That I was cold, but, you know, I wasn't giving my true self. So thank you for your beautifulness, for allowing me to go there, making me aware, whether you knew it or not.
No, I love you, and I never get that from you. But I think that's the beauty of relationships, and I think my, you know, part of my bigger purpose on earth, and I think everyone's is, if we really, really sit in our heart, is to experience relationships and growth through relationships, and, you know, and just being authentic. And with, you know, I was experiencing an authentic moment when I'm like, hey, remember the Tantra stuff? You know, like, I was having a very authentic experience when that curiosity, you know, sparked in me, and I came to you. And I think the more we can sit with ourselves and not be, you know, I could have been like, oh, you know, that I can't talk to her about that. You know, if I had have been shut down, or if I had have had any elements of shame about it and couldn't bring it to you, then that stops you from growing and healing. And like, I didn't fully realize, you know, that you had felt that way. I just can't imagine ever feeling that from you. You've
From me,
always,
yeah. Oh, no, and look, obviously, my heart was open, but I know if I really sat with it, which I had been the last few weeks especially, and, from my last bleed especially, like, just releasing that, there was so many tears that came through last, a couple of weeks ago with, my last bleed that I was like, I could feel my body purging. I could feel it just releasing and relaxing again. I was so tense. I was tense during sex. I was tense, with any touch, any affection again. And I'm like, what is going on? What is going on with me? Why is this happening? And clearly, the work that I thought I had finished, that I had done in healing certain elements of events that have taken place in the last 10 years, I hadn't finished that work. And I really just had to go back to basics of breath work again, of stopping, of, sitting with my partner and looking at him and sitting in the mirror. That was the other thing I was doing and have been doing. And woo, if nobody's done that, I highly recommend it. To eye gaze with myself I was doing it for, 3 minutes, 5 minutes here and there. And I can't explain it. There's a magic thing. I don't know if you have done it. Maybe you have.
I'm obsessed with.
Oh my
So,
gosh, I love it.
always
I
have been.
love it.
That's how I got so good at
Yeah.
dancing. I'm sure is
Yeah, it's
having
to
a mirror.
watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But to sit and really what happens for me after a space of probably it's around 2 minutes, I would say, because I set a timer and it's around 2 minutes. I literally melt away. I disappear. It's like I evaporate
Mm,
in the physical form. Like
dematerialize. Yeah.
yes. And then there's a light that shines, and it is the most amazing, beautiful. It it is true beauty. Like the true beauty then is actually seen. And it's made me really stop and just go, whoa. And then recognize that in others too. When there is moments where somebody, I have an experience with somebody where I'm like, oh, okay, they're a little bit spiky. They're a little bit,
Mm,
whatever. I have to stop and have that ability to remember, no, that's, let all that disappear, let all that evaporate, dissolve, um, and see what's actually down in there. What's through there? What is that? Even if it's a tiny little, ember of
mm,
a flame, everyone's got it. Everyone's got this beautiful spirit, this beautiful light inside them, and it's been really empowering again. And I think it comes back to, again, being blessed as a woman, being a woman,
yeah.
having that beautiful feminine energy and what we can create with it or what we can um, empower ourselves with and empower others with it, including men. Not just this woman, to woman thing, like to share that with men and remind them of who we are, and what we can give and what we bring to the world. I don't think there's enough subject on that at the moment. I think there's a lot of which I sent you a message about that. There's so much man bashing and man hating and women feeling like that's the way to regain power in the world as a woman is to sit in that masculine. And for me, instead, it's this message that keeps coming through to me is no, we need to sit in our softness and our love. Obviously, have boundaries and protect and, all of that as well, which is very important. And to be a realist, I'm not living in this airy, fairy, fluffy world, but nothing is going to change until we really embody that feminine energy of, the softer side, the loving side, the fun side, the fun,
The fun, yeah, the play.
the
Yeah.
play, rather than sitting in this defensive, hard warrior, which has its purposes, it serves well,
Yeah.
but to constantly be in that state of defense and anger and, you know, um, I don't know. It doesn't, I just feel like it's not completing the service that we should be giving as women. I feel like it needs to be, I don't know, I don't know how we're going to do it as a collective, but I feel like there needs to be more focus on that softer side of ourselves. Yeah.
I
And
and yeah, even like in relationship, you know, it becomes the more I soften, the more strength it sounds
yeah.
counterproductive, but the more I soften, the stronger I feel.
Yes, yeah.
And the greater, like, it's a really, almost sounds paradoxical, but it's like the more
Yeah, I don't know
can
how to articulate it. But
yeah,
yeah.
it's such a beautiful feeling, but it also comes from being in an environment or being around people that, you know, elicit that
Yes.
safety as well. Because I
Yes.
think in my last relationship, I tried, but that was, you know, I was like, I want to be,
That's what you wanted to do, yeah.
yeah, and it was like, that wasn't really appropriate in that dynamic.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, like, I don't want a man, but I love men. Like, men are
Me too.
amazing. They are so,
Amazing.
like,
Yes.
but there is, you know, we
Love
both
men.
have work to do. We both have
Yeah.
work to do. Men have work to do as well. But I don't want to erase men in any
No,
way,
no, and
and
I
the
feel like that
masculine.
is yeah, I feel like that is happening though, and I think that's why there's so much confusion of guys sort of not knowing what their role is at the moment, especially. And I get, you know what else? I guess I think I'm not hyper focused, but I think I'm more focused on it at the moment because I am raising a
Yeah.
beautiful little guy
Yeah.
that I want him, and I've already done it with my stepsons, but I don't know, maybe it's the time. I don't know, maybe there's something cosmically going on too, that something's opened up, that it feels like this moment in time is even more potent in doing
Mm,
it.
mm.
Sharing he just absolutely adores me. I am his goddess. This child,
Oh.
he is just such a blessing and so beautiful. And he has taught me so much about myself since I fell pregnant with him, you know. And he just continues to teach me every day something about myself. But to know that because I, you know, in my past relationships too, I always had to be mother and father. And he is teaching me that it's okay to not just, but to be the mother, to
Yeah.
be the woman in his life that he looks up to and he adores. And in turn, I just look at him and think, you are amazing, you know, and to regain faith in males again. And I think that's where it's coming from. I think it's after having my son. I think that's what it is. Just having that faith back that there are beautiful men out there. And it starts with, for me, it starts with my mothering and the mother. It starts with that beautiful connection of respect as well, you know, for each other. You know, him respecting me as the woman that I am and me respecting him as this little beautiful male being that I'm shaping and molding into, you know, putting him out there eventually, letting him go, which I already started, you know, with kinder and school and that
Yeah.
sort of stuff, you know. Yeah, but to be able to give that to him, to go, now you can go now, and for me to be content to go, I have given him all those beautiful moments and softness and nurturing and cradling him in, you know, a spiritual way, not necessarily, well, and physical at times still, but and knowing that he will carry that through his life with whoever he wants to share that with is such a beautiful, special gift. And it comes back down to me sitting in my feminine space.
It's
Yeah.
I can't remember his chart fully, but I do remember he has
Yeah.
a moon and Mars
So he's
activation.
Taurus. He's Taurus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. He's Taurus sun.
Yeah.
His moon is in Virgo. And I think you were saying, no,
Yeah.
I think you were saying about him. I do remember one thing because he did do his chart after he was born. And I remember, maybe because I'm terrible when it comes to astrology, but I remember you saying something about he will love with all his heart and he probably will get his heart broken several times because he can't remember he doesn't realize that other people don't love the same.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for that prediction. I feel really bad now when I put predictions in like that.
No, because you know what it did? It made me realize how much more I need to nurture his little heart,
Yeah.
because he feels so deeply with things. And I just think, oh, he's a little earth sign and he's got this and he's very
Yeah.
grounded. But oh my goodness, his emotions. And he does. Like, he'll come home from school and I'm like, what's going on? You okay? And he's like, it could be just the littlest of things. Such and such said to me that my drawing wasn't that great. And he takes
Oh.
everything to heart. So, no, I love that you shared that with me about him,
Oh,
because
bless.
it's really made me just to be reminded that he needs that extra nurturing when it comes to his heart and his feelings and his emotions, and expressing them, making sure that I'm constantly, and reinforcing to him that it's okay, that's okay. And it is all right to be sad, but, we can also move through it. And these are the different tools that he can have to move through these. Obviously, one of the biggest one is communication, and having that communication and having me present. I did it with my girls too, but to have that, to be present for him, I've found is so important, to really sit and listen to him and be with him rather than be distracted or, dismiss anything that he's saying. Just to remember that he's just a little person going through all these emotions and feelings, the thoughts, and and to collect them all, and to be out, and I'm amazed by him that he already has that emotional intelligence, that he can come to me with various things, like recognize something and saying, this is how I'm feeling and why am I feeling like wow.
I feel the same. Like, my youngest Aristotle is double Pisces. He's like,
Yeah, wow.
he's so emotionally intelligent and advocate, and like, he expresses his feelings with like clarity. Like, I think, last night he fell out of bed and then he's like, Mom, can you do some Reiki? Can you do some Reiki on my toe? Like, and I almost feel like having that beautiful polarity, like a soft, like, I get angry and etc. It's parenting through perimenopause is not
no angel.
parenting through perimenopause is a whole other thing.
Wow, yeah.
And having that, baseline of softness from a mother, I feel like it gives the boys and the men the capacity to be able to be like, okay, well, that's where she ends and this is where I begin, rather than like, we're all a homogenous human that's like very fluid, and I'm all for people discovering and challenging and self-expression and everything, but I feel like there is a healthy balance of masculine and feminine in any relationship, and being able to know where each lies is such a powerful gift.
It really is. Sorry, my head's now gone into also mothering as with perimenopause.
Yes. Yeah, no, let's go there.
Can we touch on that a little?
Yes, let's do it.
Oh my goodness.
Because you would have had two very different experiences. Like,
with pregnancies and birth and everything.
With just mothering.
Oh, just mothering. Yeah, absolutely. So I had my first when I was 18. So I was a teen mum, and my beautiful Molly is 28 now, and it was a completely different experience. I was not a normal teen mum, though, if you want to put me in the stereotypical teen mum. I just threw myself into motherhood. I was like, well, this is it. I wrote this contract, my soul was made to be a mother at this age. Otherwise it wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't have decided to go down that track. And I said goodbye to pretty much everyone. I said goodbye to all my friends. I said, they're out I hadn't even been to a nightclub before. So they're all off going to nightclubs and driving and, doing all normal 18-year-old stuff. And I'm breastfeeding. So, which again, that's another story, but with my choices. And I fed her till she was 19 months. Well, that was like, people looking at me going, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, really? Like, so that's just another story. But then, so I had that experience of 18. And then I had my two other girls when I was in my mid-20s, like early to mid-20s. which I don't know, I guess that was kind of a normal experience. And then, yeah, being called a geriatric pregnancy with Luca was wild, like so wild. I found too, like hormonally with my girls, like having my girls younger, I sort of, I don't know, maybe I grew up with them as well. So there was
Mm.
that whole, I guess my hormones were more balanced then also. So things were just flowing calmly. I'd have, a bit of, oh God, I can't even think of what it's called now. See, brain fog. I'd get moody from time to time just
Mm.
before my period, I guess. And that was all normal stuff. Now going through having this little person at the age of 7 going through his emotions and regulating and all that sort of stuff, going through perimenopause has been so interesting because it's almost like I'm going through a second puberty, I guess.
Yeah, it's exactly like
That's
your
what it feels
brain.
like. Yeah.
It's exactly like it's
So
the biggest brain change
oh my
since puberty.
gosh.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And yeah, the more obviously there's not enough research out there for us as most things are for women.
You know
And
what? I just quickly interrupt you.
yeah.
I don't really care anymore about the
No,
research. I love
no.
having conversations with my friends.
I was about to say exactly.
so
I was about to
good.
say the research part is us chatting.
Yeah.
We're doing the research,
Yeah.
we're the ones that are sitting, and I think that's like the stigma needs to be taken away again to empower us to be able to sit as women and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling, or I literally want to blow my house up today, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I can't stand listening to my child laughing today because I'm so overstimulated.
Yeah.
I am so overwhelmed. Like, why are you laughing so loud? Okay, no, clearly not. Like all those little things. I didn't have that with my girls, I didn't have any of those. It's an awful word to say, but irritations. Like they didn't irritate me. And I'm finding I kept taking it back to, am I irritated because he's a male? Like, should I have my moments?
No.
And then I'm like, no, it's my hormones. It's this perimenopause, this second teenage, I don't know, moment, like stage of my life. And I found the one thing that has helped me has definitely been diet, like changing my diet, and making time for myself, gentle exercise, cutting certain things out, cutting certain things out of my diet, and reintroducing stuff that I used to nourish my body with so much. And for whatever reason, I stopped, particularly iron. My iron's always been terrible, but my iron just increasing that. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't feel as, I don't know, nutty, I guess.
It's interesting with the iron. Yeah, the iron's really interesting because I have a lot of women that come to me that
sorry, that's another one. Yeah.
would identify with ADHD. Which there is, perimenopause and ADHD, there's a lot of crossovers in symptomology.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't remember stuff and I forgot this and this annoys me and I don't have the tolerance for this and I can't think this through. And it's like, there's a lot of crossover.
Yeah.
Iron, I like obviously have your bloods done first, but I would, if you're really highly feeling like you may have ADHD around perimenopausal age.
Yes, hands up over here. Yes.
Yeah, and me too. And I still forget to take my iron, and I'm like, it's the ADHD. No, I just didn't take iron. Well, and it could obviously there's pieces
other
that
elements.
Yeah, there's pieces that would fit into that box, but I feel like there's such a key. Iron is key. Yeah.
It's amazing, and it's again, breath, oxygen. It feeds so much for us with the cells. But what about zinc? Because I find that if I've increased my zinc, is that
yeah, well, zinc's just amazing for hormonal.
Hormonal?
Yeah, hormones in general,
when it comes to, I don't necessarily go off and do anything. I'll just listen to my body and say, what do I need? Like, what if I tap into my body and I'll go, oh, okay, I need zinc. So, I might take some supplements or I'll increase my food with zinc in it, So that's interesting that is a big one for hormones.
Yeah. Yeah. Zinc's very implicated in healthy hormones. I was wondering, like, with mothering, like, as far as, your philosophy, I've found, so I had Otis when I was 33, Birdie was 36, I think, sorry, and then Ari was like 38. My philosophy was very much attachment parenting at the start. Like, I need to do everything. I need to give them everything. Like, I need, it was very, very attachment. Like, and now I think it's just through, hormones and maybe a bit to do with like going through a separation. I'm only one person now. I can't give them everything. And also, perimenopause, just waning estrogen. Now I'm more like, it's not my job to give them everything. Like, I give them a foundation and then they can make everything from there. My philosophies have changed so much. Like,
oh God, yeah.
Do you feel the same?
Absolutely. And I think there's a couple of different layers to it. I think part of it is what I watched my mother do, and that whole almost martyr-like role that she played, like, but I've given everything up for you, for all of you. That role that was played for a very long time, to watch that, and then, but for it to be connected with guilt, I feel like I could have very easily, if maybe I did and wasn't aware of it, I could have very easily gone down that track without knowing it. But I've given you everything. Not that I would throw it back in their face, but in my head, I would feel like I would validate myself, going, well, I'm a great mother because, I've constantly been there for my children. I've never abandoned them. It comes back to my abandonment issues, but I've never abandoned them. I've never said, no to them unless there was a valid reason. I've always put them first. And in my head, then I was like, well, that makes me a great mum. But as I've gotten older, and, obviously the more I had, the more children I had, you do have to split your time. You do have to divide your time and energy for all those little people. And you can't do it without eventually something missing out. And that for me was my health. Like, that for me was my physical health, my mental health, my spiritual health. It really got affected. And so I had two choices where I could look at it and go, and now obviously with the hormones taking place as well, that I had to make a choice. Like, what do I want to do? Do I want to be so burnt out because I'm giving everything? Or do I want to still be there for them, allow them to do stuff for themselves, which helps them grow? I was doing a harm to them by doing absolutely everything for them.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like, it's a
yeah. I see it.
What are they
it
going
now.
to do once they leave? Once they leave this safe space of home, how is that going to help them? It's not, and not allowing them to find and discover who they are. And it's okay to make mistakes. Like, it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to,
A Virgo. Whoa! I'm like, whoa! You've done the work.
Done the work. Yeah, definitely. That's all okay. And it comes, if I didn't get to that point, it definitely was going to come with a cost, and that cost was my health. So I think as a great mother, we have to give back to ourselves, and we have to have boundaries, and we have to say no, and we have to say wait. That's the other thing too. We have to say, you can wait. I'm going to the toilet. You don't need to follow me. Just a simple task, bodily functions, or, I'm having a shower. You can wait. I would
Yeah.
not have a shower, Nelly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. No.
I would be like, no, I have to do this first. They must, they must eat this second,
Yeah. No,
snack
I had
right
that
now. Like,
same, yeah.
what? Like,
It's like a self-abandonment too.
oh
It's
my gosh, yeah.
it's so dysfunctional
Mhm.
that our
Mhm.
self-worth is wrapped in self-abandonment for so long.
Yeah, for so
Like
long.
and you look at, you look at the narratives, and I don't say this is true across the board. Like I know some amazing single dads. I know some
Mhm.
like not so great single mom, like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
goes
Yeah.
both ways. But I would say generally the narrative is, the mum does stuff and it's like, well, that's what's expected of you. Whereas the
Yeah, of
dad's like, I
course.
took them to the park. She's like,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah. It's like
Oh,
the
I did some
difference.
folding today. Wow. Yeah.
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 Yeah. And I feel like that there is such a strong narrative of like, to
Mm.
be a good mom, you have to really self-abandon or
Oh
like,
gosh, yeah.
yeah, it is
And it
that
is.
martyr narrative, isn't
It
it?
is the martyr narrative, and it really is harmful. It's especially not especially, but particularly when it comes to having 3 daughters myself, for them to be watching that,
Mm.
you know, and it ebbed and flowed with me depending what was going on with my relationship, because I am a shocker for that. When I'm in a relationship, I just throw my whole self into it.
Yeah.
Um, but then God. But yeah, for them to be watching that, I don't want them to do that. I don't want them to be that. I am their role model. I am their,
Mm.
they're watching me, and it's what's the saying? The monkey see, monkey do type thing. Like, I don't want that to be who they remember me as either. I want them to be able to go, Mum was amazing, Mum wasn't just Mum, she was Sarah, she loved photography, she did love dance, she painted, she was funny,
Mm.
it was
Mm.
quirky, I love to cook, like all
Mm.
those, very quirky.
My
All
favorite.
all the different parts of me, emotional, I love to sing, like to remember all the parts of me, and they wouldn't be able to know all those parts of me is if all I was doing was focusing on them, you know.
Mm.
And it ends up coming, I don't know, I think, I can't speak for men because I'm not a man, but for women, you get to a certain age, and maybe also becoming a mother, where you look back and you kind of, yeah, you feel bad and guilty that your mum wasn't truly that woman that she was before becoming a mum. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
for me, I definitely have, where I look back and think, well, why didn't my mum continue? She loved to paint and she loved to sing. Like, why didn't she continue to do that? Why did she stop that just because she became a mother? Um, and so now I'm definitely nurturing that part of me again, bringing my cameras out and, sitting and just sketching or whatever it is. I'm always singing, so I can't stop that one. I'm constantly, so I've got like a piano going off in the background. I'm always, doing some sort of singing, whether it's making up a ridiculous song about the morning or whatever it is. So that one never stopped. The
Oh.
kids have been subjected to that their whole lives.
But my kids, we join in now. Like we have our own little
Yeah.
band going. It's
Oh,
great.
love that. Love that. Would love to hear it sometime. Yeah. So I think it just comes back down to, again, of not abandoning ourselves, and how important that is as a woman, as a friend, as a sister, as a auntie, as a mother, as a whatever, as a partner, um, to make us a whole person. Because I think it's very easy. And maybe this is also why, nothing's for nothing. That's one of my sayings. Everything happens for a reason. And perhaps these hormonal changes start to take place at this age because, it's our time we've given so much again, and it's our time to reflect on what really makes me happy and shine. And let's revisit that. And it's that whole playfulness again, too, and being a teen, like going through that second puberty.
It's a rediscovery, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is.
And
Like,
I do
looking at,
think it's a time to shine. Like for me, I'm
yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah. I feel like we're glowing so much more.
I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with your skin right now. I'm just watching you. I'm like,
Wow.
but
I'm
yeah, I
just
think it is
obsessed
a
with you.
time. Oh, love you so much.
Love you.
Yeah, it is a time to shine. Like I'm really finding, once we get out of, I think there's such a heavy capsule around what perimenopause means. And I feel
Yeah.
like once women can crack through that, and it's like,
Mm.
oh, I'm not just going to dry up and be depleted and
Yes.
like
Oh my
get old and
gosh.
be the hag and all of that.
The drying up. Can we discuss that? Sorry, I'll cut you off. You go.
No, you go.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I just wanted to talk about that too. The drying up part. Like, what is that? Why is that such a focus? And is it, if we look at it again, by touching back on that again, is the drying up happening? You know, because I don't know, we're drying up with our creativity, we're drying up with our passions, we're drying up with our intellect. We're not nurturing ourselves in those ways. So it's you know, coming through our bodies in that way. We have to continue to give ourselves all those things that feed our soul, that make us shine, that make us youthful. That is youth, you know, that is where youth is not dried up, because they continue to play, they continue to have fun, they continue to be cheeky, they continue to push boundaries, they continue to explore. And why do we need to stop that just because we begin to age or enter a different stage in our life? Because our body stops having the ability to have children doesn't mean that we have to stop the ability of having fun and still being, you know, playful.
Mm,
I think that's a big thing of what creates those issues for women, like particularly, you know, in the genitals,
mm,
like, or with sex, you know, sex drive. Yes, obviously the hormones do plummet and things, you know, shift around, which influences it, but there's a way of battling it, I guess, and getting through it is by simple things.
mm.
Back to dance, I say. Yeah, back
Yeah,
to
I think
dance.
dance
You
is
know, back to
great.
movement.
But it's like I think I never look at a symptom in isolation. Like for
Mm,
me, so much of what I do is energetic based anyway. Um, like I think it's a spiritual aridity. Like I think
mm.
there's like, dry in one area, you have to like, where else can
Yeah.
we inject,
Yeah. Where
you
else?
know,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
how can we lubricate you? Like your
Yes.
whole life needs
Yes.
lubrication, not
Yeah.
just one
Yeah.
aspect
One
of you.
area. Yep.
And I
Yep.
think the exploration thing is such a beautiful point, because it's like,
Mm,
but I'm used to doing it this way and getting this
mm,
result. And it's
mm.
like, you're becoming a whole new person. Your
Yes.
brain is
Yes.
completely rewiring. Let's play
Literally.
around and
Yeah.
see what other ways. And, maybe it
Yes.
means a little bit more time here, or maybe it means like wearing a little,
Yeah.
lingerie over here, or
Yes.
doing a little dance over here.
It's so interesting you bring that up too. We were talking, my youngest daughter, she's 21 now, but we were talking about something came up about lingerie and we were laughing about it. And I said, how much of lingerie really is for men? Like they'll rip it off in 2 seconds, let's face it. Like, yes, men are visual creatures, but I feel like, and I said it to Eve, I was like, women really need to be wearing lingerie for themselves. Like to
Oh,
feel that sexiness and that feminine energy again. Like if I know that if I'm wearing like a sexy bra under something, I'm like, yeah, you don't know what's going on under this bra, but I'm feeling good. You know what I mean? And then that
mm,
empowers us and brings us into a spot where we're like open to explore that part of ourselves even more, because we feel empowered, because we're in that, we're in ourselves to be able to share that with someone if we choose to. So yeah, it's funny that you just raised the lingerie part. It's definitely all these little rituals, I guess, that we can put into place for ourselves to bring back our amazingness. Is that a word?
yeah, yeah, it is now.
It is
I
now.
yeah, and even like I think it all comes down to how we're feeling about ourselves ultimately. Is
Yeah.
not, like I think a man would probably look up, if you've had your beloved for 20 years, he's probably
Mm,
still going to look upon you in the same way, with the
yeah.
same love and the same
Mm.
expectation. It's how we feel, I
We feel.
think, that
Yeah.
really shifts throughout the years.
Mm,
And if we can feel, if we're not looking, you're eye gazing in the mirror,
mm,
if you can't even look yourself in the eye in the mirror,
mm,
I think
mm.
that's probably a beautiful place to start, is being able to
Yeah.
look at yourself and go, oh wow, there are flames.
Yes.
I am a, you know, I have
Yes.
spark. I have that
Oh gosh,
beautiful
yeah.
essence shining
And
through.
she's still in there. That playful, beautiful woman is still in there, you know? She's there. You've just got to find her again.
Oh, Sarah, I don't even want to say goodbye. I feel like we're probably it was up a little while ago, but I feel like I just can't. I love you so
I love you
dearly.
too. I adore you. Thank you so much.
You are such a blessing.
I think I went off on a tangent a few times, but hey, that's me.
No, yeah. Well, and that's what we're here for. Like, I'm not here for
Exactly.
like, you know, we're not, there's no checklist and yeah.
Exactly.
I adore you and I'd love to have you back sometime as well.
Thank you so much. I would love that.
I know you're not haven't got a huge presence online or anything, but is there any your Instagram, anything when you'd like?
Temple of the Priestess. So I am starting again, going back to, you know, sharing my gifts. I am starting to do some readings again. So online or in person, which is a bit exciting. So I do. Look, I call it tarot reading, but it's just energetic. It's a you know, a prop really, my cards. I can, yeah. And it makes people feel a bit more comfortable too if they're not used to it. They're like, well, rather than just staring at someone going, I can see things.
But you do it with the memes to me. I need to add in, like,
I do actually.
Sometimes it's like a couple of months or, you know, like in between us catching up. And then I'll just get this meme in my inbox and I'm like,
she knows.
How does she know? It's like the same word. It'll be so highly specific to what I'm going through. I'm like,
it is really funny. I do that with my special ones, my loved ones. And music, songs, that's the other thing that'll come through with me. So, yeah. But yes, thank you very much for mentioning that. I do. It's Temple of the Priestess. And, yeah, you'll see my Virgo self in the images. And just reach out, DM if you do want a reading, and that I can do that for you. Thank you.
You are so beautiful. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you, my darling.
Gorgeous day and catch up soon. Love you so much.
I love you. Bye, darling.
Thank you for sitting with us today. It has been an absolute joy. If you'd like to work with me or connect with any one of our beautiful guests, you can find everything at perimoon.com.au. And until next time, may you find yourself all the way alive.